Hello friends, Adam here with FED. Today we're going to be looking at the Emblem Corrin and kind of talk about why I think it might be the best ring in the game in Fire Emblem Engage. Corrin is very versatile and very good when used the right way. So I want to talk about that today, but to do that we're going to be looking at some footage from my playthrough of the game around Chapter 19. So if you're not to Chapter 19 and don't want to be spoiled on anything, as far as gameplay goes and map-wise, this is probably the time to look away, but we're going to be looking at it right now. So, spoiler warning over, here it goes. 3, 2, 1, showing the screen. Alright, so this is just from my live stream of the game. I've been playing it, of course. You can watch every night, Monday through Saturday, at around 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to look out for that. Subscribe so you can not miss it. We've been having a really good time. We're almost to the end of the game, I think. Anyways, here we are. This is my blind playthrough of Maddening. And here I have Corrin on Alear. And Corrin on Alear is 100% the best pairing for Corrin. Alear is able to use every single kind of dragon vein, which means there's a lot of versatility that way. But there's really two that are standouts among those, all those different uses. But first we're going to see this. We're going to see Torrential Roar, which is a very, very powerful ability that allows you to win with our dragon friend here, with Alear. It attacks in a line of 4, and also affects the surrounding enemies as well. So it's going to, it would deal damage if they weren't miasma, but also it's going to nerf all of these enemies. All of them in this little grouping here. It's going to lower their move to 0. It's going to lower their stats by 4 and make them easier to kill in general, but also just makes it so you lock them down. So once per engage, Corrin, or Corrin on Alear, but really just Corrin on anyone, can lock down entire blocks of enemies, right? So you can do that once per engage, and that's pretty good. And it makes it so like even bosses can't move. I'm sure I think there are some bosses that can't be affected by this kind of status or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised, especially like later on that I haven't seen yet. But for now, these two bosses on this map both get affected by Torrential Roar and getting locked down by like by whatever, like it's like Draconic Hex or whatever it's called. All right, moving on to another timestamp. Let's go here. Now you can see we're in a kind of an even rougher situation here. It's kind of a disaster, right? So we got to the point where we're able to kill Mavir, which is very good. Killing him is gonna make this next part of the map much more bearable, but it is a brutal situation we're in here, right? There are just tons of enemies, and honestly we do not have the firepower to deal with this many enemies at this point. We already used Torrential Roar, so you're thinking, oh no, FED, you're in trouble. And you would be right if it weren't for this one simple trick. This one incredibly powerful simple trick. You see, Corrin gives dragon veins, like I talked about earlier, and there are two that are real standouts among those. The first being Vein of Fog, which creates a dense fog around Alear and the surrounding spaces that have 30 avoid on them, right, which is really good, especially for coverts. But he also has Vein of Fire, or Vein of Flame, I should say. Vein of Flame goes out of space, like you just saw it there, really big area of effect. But not only does it just like deal 10 damage on their next enemy phase, it also locks down those enemies pretty effectively. It takes a lot of movement to move through the flames. So we're able to Dragon Vein there with Vein of Flame, and then we're going to do it here as well. And we were able to do that with the dance. And now all of these enemies, except for the two or three at the bottom, are completely locked down and can't really do anything. They can't really do anything to us. It is incredibly, incredibly valuable to do that, right? So now the only thing we need to do to protect the rest of our units here is use like an obstruct or a freeze on an enemy or something along those lines. A bunch of tools that the game does give you to make use of. And you're just going to be able to survive when you probably shouldn't have. Like, honestly, looking at this mess, I should not be okay. Looking at this mess, I should not be okay. But I am, because of solely because of Corrin. Now, I'm not saying you need Corrin to be successful in this game, but I will need to use them in this way, because I'm sure there's other there's people that want to put different rings on Alear and whatever else, but If you want to make the best use of him, of Corrin, put it on Alear and just kind of go to town with all these different veins and stuff. And on Maddening, where Alear tends to not deal enough damage to kill things, at least that's the kind of feel that I get from him, being able to have a really good support role in this way is very good. So, yeah, so now here I'm thinking, like, what else do I need to do? And the answer, which I come to in a minute here, is this, to put an obstruct down to make it so it's either, I can't remember, I either protect Yunaka or I protect Seadoll here. Either way, it's a very, very good strategy. So yeah, there you have it. That's why I think Corrin might be one of the best in the game. Corrin has the ability to not only lock down enemies very effectively, but can also debuff them to make it easier for your allies to kill them. Use Corrin effectively. Very powerful. Now, if I had to choose a different kind of unit to put Corrin on, I would probably say Covert, because Vein of Fog is really good. Especially if you have like a high avoid build on someone like Yunaka or Zelkov, and anyone else you put into Thief. Otherwise, you want to be able to use the Vein of Fire, which I can't remember which one does that because I just always use it on Corrin. But whoever uses the Vein of Flames is another good pick. But again, I think if I had to pick one, it would be a Covert, particularly a Thief who can enemy phase. So yeah, there you have it. There you have it. That's why Corrin is sick. But let me know in the comments. What do you think of Corrin? Do you think Corrin is good? Do you think Corrin is overrated? Do you think I'm crazy? I would love to hear your thoughts. I am kind of crazy, to be honest. Anyways, and share your thoughts. What ring do you think is the best? Do you think I'm overhyping Corrin? Do you think that maybe, I don't know, do you think Goddess Dance from Byleth is just insanely good, especially on Alear, that it gives a super buff to everyone? Or do you think... maybe you think Sigurd's the best with the high move, Celica with Warp, or Micaiah, I know is a very popular pick for best ring in the game. I don't know if Corrin is, I'll say Corrin is one of the best rings, but I will give it up and say that Micaiah and other ones are really good as well. That might be better in certain situations. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like the I want to say the stream because I do that all the time. I say that all the time. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not, because we're going to be talking about Fire Emblem Engage all over the place. And if you have any ideas for guides or video topics you want to hear, go ahead and throw them in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.